So yesterday was a very eventful day across the plains as we had a lot of tornadoes, and it definitely verified with that moderate risk of severe weather. We had 25 reported tornadoes across the plains here with 132 wind reports, 91 hail reports, with 25 of those being of 2-inch diameter or larger. So definitely looking at more severe weather as we go to today, because that same storm system is pushing further off to the east. We have a level 1 out of 5 in the dark green, a level 2 out of 5 in the yellow, and a max level 3 out of 5 for the day today. And that's an enhanced risk here across portions of the Ohio and Tennessee River Valley, stretching back toward the foothills of Missouri. And then as we go into Monday, we do have the potential for severe weather as that cold front shifts further east into the mid-Atlantic, the southeast, and across the Gulf Coast. We'll be keeping an eye on that. If you are new here to Weather on the Go, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below for the latest weather information right at your fingertips. Give the video a like down below. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today. So let's look here at the synoptic setup for this storm. We have a 998 millibar low here near the Davenport Quad Cities area there in eastern Iowa as of today. That will be tracking northeast across Lake Michigan and into northern lower Michigan as a 993 millibar low as we go into tonight, and continuing to strengthen as we go into Monday, Memorial Day tomorrow, as it pushes into southeastern Canada, into Ontario. There is a 992 millibar low. So if you don't know about low pressure systems, the stronger the low, the lower the number. So if you're at 1,000 millibars and the low pressure goes down to 995 millibars, that means the low pressure system is strengthening. So as we go into today, here is your severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. They do have a level 3 out of 5, an enhanced risk of severe weather for parts of Illinois, south central Indiana, southwest Ohio, much of the state of Kentucky here into Tennessee, parts of southeastern Missouri to the foothills region, and northeastern portions of Arkansas, with a large marginal and slight risk in the dark green and yellow shaded color surrounding that. Looking at probabilities of severe weather through today, we could be seeing those significant wind gusts over 75 miles per hour as we have a maturing mesoscale convective system. It's just a complex of storms that'll be moving across the Ohio-Tennessee River Valley. On the southern flank of that, we could be seeing some big hail back here into portions of the mid-south and the mid-Mississippi Valley. That's over 2 inches in diameter, and the tornado threat is formidable as well, all the way up here near the warm front in southern lower Michigan, or all the way south into northeast Texas. The area in between here in the mid-Mississippi Valley region, the western Ohio Valley, western Tennessee Valley, places like Mount Vernon, Illinois, Evansville, Indiana, into the Paducah, Kentucky area, Clarksville, Tennessee, we have a 10% hatched risk for some strong tornadoes as we go through today. So looking at the setup here, looking at dew points rising into the 60s to near 70 as we go through this afternoon. The 70s dew points will be into the mid-Mississippi Valley, more 60s of the dew points into the Ohio Valley here. The stronger instability will be down here across the mid-south. That's why we have that really strong threat for some big hail today, over 2 inches in diameter, because those instability values, your CAPE, that's thunderstorm fuel, over 4,000 joules per kilogram across that region. It's a little bit less with northeastward extent. So going through this late morning here, I know the morning is almost over, but you can see we did have some showers and storms and clusters of some severe weather moving across the Midwest into the Ohio Valley this morning. Outflow boundaries from that complex as it weakens, as it pushes further east, will lay out across portions of the Ozarks and into southeastern Missouri toward the foothills region and downstate Illinois, and that will renew our threat for severe weather as supercell thunderstorms will be developing on that outflow boundary this afternoon, and that will actually grow amazingly from 1 or 2 thunderstorms literally into a big line of storms as it pushes through Kentucky as we go into this evening, and that could threaten us with maybe some 75 plus mile per hour winds, some large hail over quarter size, maybe even a few tornadoes on the leading edge. And you can see here the backward C shape on here, meaning that the winds are going to be the primary threat here. Going into early Monday morning, that will continue to track south and eastward through Tennessee toward the western Carolinas in a weakening trend as we kind of lose daylight heating and the instability starts to lessen further off to the east. Looking at this here, another way to look at how strong these storms are is the helicity tracks. You can see how bright it is across downstate Illinois, Missouri, southern Indiana, much of Kentucky, and parts of Tennessee. That's where we could have the more robust updrafts that could produce those strong, damaging winds, large to very large hail, and a couple tornadoes. Even a strong tornado out there is possible. Going into Monday, Memorial Day, we have a slight risk in a couple areas. The Delmarva region up here toward the Mid-Atlantic, and then down into western Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and eastern Louisiana. Wind and hail will be the main threat, but a tornado threat is there across the Baltimore area, Washington, D.C., Richmond, Virginia, the Norfolk area, back toward Greensboro, North Carolina, just north of Raleigh, and then into the Roanoke, Virginia area. We have a 2% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of a given point here. And again, the setup is the same. Dew points into the 60s, maybe tagging 70 degrees as we go into the afternoon there on Memorial Day. Instability on that day won't be as strong as we've seen the last couple of days, so I don't foresee really, overly significant severe weather, but I do think severe weather is a possibility here, as we have 1,000, 2,000 joules per kilogram of instability. So blow off convection from Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening for today's severe weather will be ongoing Monday morning. So when I say blow off convection, we're still going to be seeing showers and storms continuing across portions of the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast, and the Southeast tomorrow morning. Then as we go into the afternoon, we're just going to see scattered coverage of showers and storms. Literally these popcorn storms along the cold front that just pop up and move east, and not everybody will see them. And if you do, you could be seeing some large hail, some damaging winds, and a couple of tornadoes. And then as we go into Monday evening, that will push closer to the coast here, whether it's the East Coast, the Southeast Coast, the Gulf Coast. And then as we go into early Tuesday morning, that will be shifting off of the coast completely as the cold front will be moving over into the western Atlantic basin. And looking at the rest of the country for Memorial Day, pretty dry outside of that across the central and western parts of the country. A lot of high pressure out here, lots of sunshine. Some backwash moisture, though, across the upper Midwest and western Great Lakes for portions of northeastern Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan here into northern Indiana, maybe northeastern Illinois, as this low pressure system will begin to occlude, which means it's going to slow down, could lead to a little bit more moisture there on the back side of the low pressure system across the Great Lakes there, at least early in the day on Memorial Day. I think the afternoon will start to dry out from west to east. So here is the rainfall totals across the eastern 2/3 of the country. If you get under some heavy rainfall, especially with that mesoscale convective system tonight across Kentucky, downstate Illinois, southern Indiana, southeastern Missouri, Tennessee, maybe the northern part of the Dixie Alley there into northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, northern Georgia, we could be seeing over an inch of rainfall as we go through that Tuesday time frame. And also another aspect of this is the heat. We have excessive heat across portions of the south. Look at our temperatures down near Brownsville, Texas, up to around 105, 110 degrees here. You factor in the heat index because, yes, the dew points are going to be on the rise. We've had a lot of rain across the south here and across the southern U.S. as a whole, so our dew points are well into the 70s. Look at the heat index there. Monday afternoon on Memorial Day, 105 in Dallas-Fort Worth area, 109 into Waco, 113 in San Antonio, 120 to 125 possibly in the Rio Grande Valley down there into southern Texas, 108 in Lake Charles, 101 in New Orleans, so it's going to be pretty hot. Make sure to stay hydrated if you have any cookouts outdoors for Memorial Day. Going through the work week next week, notice the ridge out west on Tuesday. That will slowly shift east by the middle of the week on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And you can see a little disturbance up there in southern Canada. Will be providing us with the focal point for more showers and storms as we go through the week next week, mainly across the middle of the country. And you can see with our temperature anomalies, a little bit cooler off to the east, but warming up out west as that ridge starts to move in. And you can see that warmth will lead to some showers and storms. So on Tuesday, May 28th, down near the Red River Valley there, we could be seeing some isolated severe weather, maybe a marginal slight risk day of severe weather there on Tuesday. Same thing on Wednesday, Thursday across the plains, and Friday as well. Basically a broken record through the rest of the work week and the rest of May. I don't foresee any major severe weather outbreaks or tornado outbreaks or anything like that, but I would not be shocked to see more damaging wind events, large hail events, and maybe a couple tornadoes along the way as we finish off the month of May, which has, by the way, been a very active May at that. And here's the rainfall totals From Tuesday, May 28th through Friday, May 31st, yeah, again, across the plains here. I know we're tired of talking about the plains, but we have to. That's where the weather is. So looking here at the plains, we could be seeing a few more inches of rainfall as we go through that time frame from the Dakotas, Nebraska, southward through Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, even parts of Minnesota, Iowa, western Missouri. That's where the action will be as we end the month there of May. And that's where we could be seeing some flash flooding here. So on Tuesday, flash flooding threat is maximized near the Red River Valley here into southern Oklahoma and north central Texas. Wednesday from the Front Range down here again toward the Arklatex, and then a small area up into Montana, western portions of North Dakota. We'll have to watch near the track of that low pressure system for a marginal risk for flash flooding. Then as we go into Thursday, slight risk back here across the Red River Valley, southern southwestern Oklahoma, northern and northwest Texas, with a marginal risk all up and down the plains with the threat for flash flooding there. Going into early June, Saturday, June 1st through the following Saturday, June 8th, we're going to see that ridge become established across the western part of the U.S., more troughs digging in as well. And you can see, look at the big trough over here just south of the Aleutian Islands near Alaska. When you see a trough like this here on the maps, you're definitely going to have a ridge to the east, and that's exactly what we have here. The center of that ridge is still down into Mexico, but if a part or two breaks off from this trough, it's going to have nowhere to go but up and over top of this ridge, so across southern Canada and the northern part of the U.S. So if you live in the northern plains, the northern Rockies, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, be on the lookout for more clusters of showers and storms entering into at least the first week in June. And that is what is depicted here on the European Extended Ensemble guidance, and it's across the northern and eastern part of the U.S., up and over top of that ridge. Notice underneath the influence of that ridge of high pressure, you're not going to see a lot of moisture, lots of sunshine, lots of heat here. Texas knows it well. The Gulf Coast, Florida, they know it well. It's been very hot down there over the last several weeks, so we're going to continue to see that heat building even further north across the west as well as we go into the first week in June. Here's the severe weather hotspots as we go into early June, especially in the orange and especially actually the red shaded color. We may have to watch out for these lines of storms that develop, especially if we have parts of that trough break off and move downstream over top that ridge. This is kind of a prime setup as we're getting into June. This is derecho season, so we're going to have to watch out for that across portions of the Midwest. It's not a far gone conclusion that we're going to see a derecho for absolute certainty, but it is a pattern that could be conducive to producing these derechos as we go into early June and even beyond into the middle part of June, late June, and the rest of summer. So something we'll have to watch there. Thank you all for watching here today's video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below for the latest weather information right at your fingertips. Another video on the way tomorrow and a second channel video, North Central Weather Center. Go subscribe to that channel here as well. And make sure to like the video down below, especially if you like today's weather content. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Sunday out there.